Hi, it's Dr. Julie Gilbert here from my kitchen on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Oh, actually, it's not noon yet, is it? It's 11:45. I usually do chow in the afternoon, but today I had a little time, so I thought I'd just jump in the kitchen and make good use of my time. So we have apple trees that are going great guns this year, and we don't like things to see things go to waste. I cannot possibly eat all the apples. You know, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, that's one apple, right? And you don't need to eat too much fruit because when we overdo the fruit, actually, you've heard of beer bellies and bread baskets. Well, we can get fruit bellies too. So, but because fruit actually is great source of energy, beautiful antioxidants, nutrients, fiber, pectin, inulin, all that great stuff. But we can go overboard on that too. But anyway, we don't like to see things go to waste, and our apple trees have been very generous to us. Sometimes, well, actually every year, I make apple butter, and I love apple butter because it's just a nice use of the apples, and it adds cinnamon and cloves and allspice. When you make it, your kitchen smells amazing, and actually it goes through the whole house, and it's just a great way to use apples, especially if they've had just a little bit of if we've already shared them a little bit with the bugs and the birds in nature, because we don't spray our apples. And I know there are probably other organic ways to keep the pests aside, but we haven't explored that, I guess, enough. My husband has used a little banana peel and apples and vinegar, I think, and sometimes that works, but occasionally you get a friendly share. And so making apple butter is a great way, or even apple cider. A friend has an apple cider press. It's so fun to give her windfall apples, and she can use the apples here. But I'm set up for apple butter, and what I do is I just cut out the stuff that's already been eaten, and there's plenty of good apple left, and I put this whole thing, peel and all, into my big old pot. You can see that here. And I have that kind of a low, not exactly boiling, but just a low simmer. And then that'll cook the apples down. I use a variety of apples. We've got Honeycrisp, Braeburn, Fuji, and there's a couple other more. I can't remember the name, but I love a combination of flavors. I think we have Granny Smith. That combination of flavors, in my opinion, makes the best apple butter or applesauce. And then so I cut the apple and I simmer it, and I use I put some water in there, and I put a little apple cider vinegar in there. And then once it's simmered, take a look at this. Then and cooked. Then I use my sieve to drain out the excess water, and I put it in my chinois. Have you heard that? Chinois. I think that's how I pronounce it, but it's another little sieve, and I'm pressing out, so this is all by hand, and so which adds to the enjoyment of it. In my opinion, it is work, but it's good work, and you can listen to some music in the background, or you can just enjoy the flavor and the aroma. But I'm pressing out the meat, of course, and through this sieve, and it's making this beautiful consistency for apple butter or applesauce. And then once I press that out, then I transfer it to, can you see this over here? Here, my slow cooker. And I put a little lemon zest in there with it, which makes it just, And of course, the cinnamon and the cloves and the allspice. And then I cook that down until it's that consistency of apple butter, which is, I don't add a lot of sugar. You know, the apples have enough sweetness, but occasionally I will add sugar. Here's my standard recipe, apple butter recipe. And I've used this over the years. They want you to use 4 cups of sugar for 4 pounds of apples. I probably end up using 1 cup of sugar for 4 pounds of apples. And it's just enough to bring out the delicious flavor of the apple, but the lower the sugar, the better, of course. So this is a delicious and fun way to use your extra apples that you've shared a little bit of with the birds and a couple of bugs out there. And then it makes a great gift. So I've shared this with friends and relatives, and I send some apple butter to Zeke. Zeke used to be the chinois man, and I'm missing him right now. He was great at this, and we had a whole workshop here, and we made great apple butter together. But he's off to college, so I'll be sending him some apple butter. He'll love to get that in the mail. But it's a great gift. It smells great, and it's a super way to use your extra apples. So from Oregon Weight and Wellness, ciao.